America wants. Call Huck and Dave for open discussions at 504-556-9696, or you can reach them at LibertyorLockdown.Live. Now, let's go live and direct to Huck and Dave for Liberty or Lockdown.
Welcome back to Liberty or Lockdown. This is Huck.
And this is Dave.
All right. Well, we have a lot going on again every week. It's so much news, Dave. I can't control it.
Are you,
Stock market is crashing and people are going crazy.
Are you still alive?
I am alive.
So you didn't die with the stock market?
I
going
did
up and
not
down.
die with
The stock market is so much emotion. You give a company a certain amount of your money, and they keep it. Now, after that, you own a certain number of shares of that company, and other people say, well, I want that. So other people come to you, and they'll pay you more than what you paid or less than what you paid, and it has absolutely no effect on the company. So this week, there's been so much panicking about the stock market. And, last week there was this lady that posted on Facebook that said the stock market had the biggest crash since 1929. No, the stock market had the biggest decline in 5 years, which means 5 years and 1 day ago, it was worse when Biden was president. So it went down. It came back up some. And a lot of it is a response to Mr. Trump announcing the tariff. That has no effect on the value of the company. But people just freak out and they say, oh, no, the market's going down. I better sell. Well, the other day when the market went down, I said, that's a good time to buy. So I bought some shares of Tesla the other day.
Smart move.
Yeah, it had dropped all the way down to 220, 222, something like that. Today it was back up to 270 after 4 days. So 270 a share. So, if you get all freaked out and all emotional over the stock market, shame on you.
Well, I was in the kitchen when I was watching the tariffs to China. They went up to 125%.
Yeah.
And Trump and China were going back and forth. And I thought it was actually hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I thought it was funny because he was like, yeah, well, you're going to go higher. I'm going to go higher.
Right. Well, a bunch of, he had said this from the beginning. We have really got the short end of the stick on these tariffs. A tariff is a tax on goods from another country. Okay. And that's how the United States made its money at the beginning when it was just getting started as a country, by tariffs. Okay. And so the other day, he said when he was going to impose the tariffs that there's probably going to be sort of a trade war for a little while.
Well, they're not calling it a trade war.
Well, whatever you want to call it. But he imposed the tariff, and people were freaking out and saying, oh, no, everything's going to be more expensive. His goal was to get a bunch of countries to lower their tariffs on goods they're selling us. And so far, about 75 countries have come to the White House and said, okay, we're willing to negotiate.
Japan being one of the first ones, called out uncle.
Yeah, China's not doing it. Okay, that's fine.
The audacity of China.
Yeah.
Since Bill Clinton signed the United States into that NAFTA deal, China has flooded our markets. I remember owning a cabinet store in Miro, Louisiana, during Katrina. My family had a construction company. And we had a cabinet store, and I think it was like 13 Chinese cabinet stores opened up within a 5-mile radius of our cabinet store in Miro, Louisiana, and shut us down within a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I never forgot that because it was directly related to the NAFTA deal.
So when you listen to the media, you can tell whether they're liberal or conservative media. The liberal media are saying, this is terrible. It's the end of the world. The sky is falling. Trump's killing us. And the conservative media are saying he's doing exactly what he said he would do. And it's working the way he said it would.
And Mike from Holy Patriotic is on live stream. He said it's up to 145% now.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. I mean, what do they What were they expecting? That they could flood America with their bottom of the line great things, take out people like myself from being able to, survive in that cheap market, and not expect us at some point in time to have tariffs on what they're sending in?
Well, I've been to China and I really liked it. It was very enjoyable and people were not starving over there and all of that. But, they have a different system and they're not looking out for America's interest. They're looking out for China's interest. And they've been able to get by with it for so long that they figure we'll blink. I don't think Mr. Trump is going to blink.
And John's saying that NAFTA drove up inflation too. It
Yeah.
sure did.
Yeah.
So why can't we go back to the drawing board and cancel all the NAFTA deals that Clinton signed in?
Well, it's been something like 70 years to get to the present point, back in the 1950s, or at least 50 years. In the 1970s was where a lot of stuff happened that was definitely not to our advantage. But after 50 or 70 years, whatever amount it is, people are all freaked out about Trump and they say, this is terrible, look what Trump is doing. They're expecting him to fix it in one day. It took 70 years or 50 years.
He hasn't even been in office 70 days, huh?
Yeah. So it's going to take a little while.
Yeah. All of this is a direct reflect. We have to do what we're doing. We support President Trump 100%.
Yeah.
People need to be still. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's on X screaming that, everyone's a con man, but she's an insider trader.
Yeah.
So I literally don't like to say this, but shut up. Just shut up. Be quiet. You have the audacity to call people con man that are actually now looking into things like Doge.
Yeah.
And yet it's because you don't want to be investigated, little lady.
There was something the other day where Musk was talking about this, how somebody came in with a net worth of less than $100,000, and then after a few years in Congress, now their net worth is $20 million.
Yes,
What's going on here?
exactly.
So
It's our tax dollars. They're lining their pockets with our tax dollars.
So Musk was saying we're going to look into this.
How about Ukraine saying that we'll give you $50 billion to send us some more fighter airflow?
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's our $50 billion that you already have. Why don't you just give that back to us and we don't send you anything?
And you say, good.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
So there's so much stuff going on, and some of the news media are saying, hey, this is decent, it's okay, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it just seems like the majority of the news media are just contributing to panic and freaking out and, oh no, this is going to get you, it's going to take away your Social Security, which is not going to. And Musk responded to that. What he's doing has no effect on Social Security, with the exception of how many people do you think are on the Social Security rolls that are 120 years and older?
I don't know. How many?
9.9 million.
9.9 million?
Yeah. Now, the oldest person in the world that
What?
we know of is not 120. But on the Social Security rolls, there are 9.9 million people showing as being 120 years and older. I think it would be really nice if we could trim the rolls and get them off of there. Because, if
Who's been collecting that paycheck?
somebody,
I hate to say it, but it's Nancy Pelosi.
not all of it. Her husband.
All of it. Every bit of it.
Her husband got part.
Well, she's eating ice cream in that refrigerator, getting her hair done during COVID.
Yeah.
You better stay locked down and put your mask on. All right. This is Liberty or Lockdown. We'll be right back.
What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Make your highway stop, children, watch that sound. Everybody look what's going down. Babylon's being wrong. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people stick
If you're suffering with scalp irritation or inflammation of the scalp, flaky scalp, or loss of hair, there's a new treatment out there called Keravive. Call Spot Isabel on Magazine Street, 504-595-5009. $3.99 per session. You need about 3 sessions. That's 504-595-5009. Spot Isabel.
Some people in the Louisiana legislature want to permit the teaching of critical race theory in our state. That theory says that if 2 babies are born today, one black baby and one white baby, that the white baby is the mean, racist oppressor of the black baby, and that the black baby is the weak, incompetent victim of the white baby. Unbelievable. Those people say that the innocent white baby by his DNA is bad and racist, and the black baby by his DNA is a weak victim who can never succeed. Only a total fool would believe or accept this idiocy. Yet they want to teach this foolishness to Louisiana's young people. Please call your legislator today and raise some sand.
Listen each weeknight from 7 to 9 p.m. The rules are Abalone and Stephen Parr here on WGSO 990 AM.
Join me, Jack Clegg, for the Jack Clegg Show every Friday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. only on WGSO 990 AM.
Hey, Nene, we love Wednesdays, but we're moving to a new time.
Listen to He Said, She Said, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
As usual, we'll be discussing and debating the hot topics.
and taking your phone calls.
You can find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, wait, Jeff, I'm never wrong. Remember, happy wife, happy life.
So we'll have a lot to talk about on He Said, She Said,
Listen to the Crew of Crew Air Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
right here on WGSO.
Get up early on Saturdays and talk LSU athletics with us. Tiger Rag Radio every Saturday morning, 5 to 7 on WGSO, the community voice of the Crescent
You
City.
might be afraid to speak out for fear of canceling or losing your job. Christian Garrett Show on WGSO is your platform. Noon to 2 weekdays right here on 990 AM WGSO.
Baldy on the Block. Radical Radio for Radical Times. Wednesdays at 4 on WGSO. Follow us on X at Baldy Block.
That's not America.
I'm pet friendologist Charlotte Reed. Listen to the Pet Buzz airing every Saturday at 6 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
From the wackos on the left to the maggers on the right, they know I'm beating Cumberland. This race won't even be tied. For policies and nutso, she's out of gun.
All right. So during the break, I was telling Dave that Japan, screamed uncle quickly, and Trump rewarded them with, I think they're down to 10% tariffs now.
Yeah.
And China refuses, and so now they're up to 145. Who do you think's going to win, China or Trump?
I think
America or China?
It's going to take a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not that long though. Aren't we the biggest customer for Chinese goods in the world?
I believe we are.
So if we quit buying their stuff, they'll say, "Oh, we're not selling as much as we did. We better back off."
When I go to Costco's to buy shrimp or seafood, crawfish especially, crawfish, there's an option to buy China crawfish for, let's say,
Much cheaper.
$4.99 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or $3.99. And then there's the Louisiana crawfish. It's up to $15.
Wow.
Guess what I buy?
Louisiana.
100%. And when I go to the register, I tell the cashier, I'm buying Louisiana crawfish on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm doing it with an intention. I
Yeah.
refuse to buy the Chinese crawfish for $4. I'm just not doing it. And if it costs me more to support Louisiana, I'm going to do it.
Seems like I heard a few years ago that some town in China changed its name to Usa. USA, so their products would say "Made in USA."
You're kidding.
No, it was a few years ago. Somebody caught them on it. I don't know if they've changed it yet.
Of course. So I'm not sure if you heard about the controversy between Austin Metcalf and his killer, Carmelo Anthony. As a young teenage boy, stabbed another young teenage boy directly in the heart with a knife at a track meet at 10 a.m. in the morning at school, on school premises.
The world is all about me.
Yes.
And
So-
at least that's what he thought of the guy that killed the other one.
So Anthony, I don't know who did this, but somebody started a GoFundMe and for the murderer, and they were, out there defending the murderer, and he raised almost $200,000, I believe, and GoFundMe pulled it because it was completely unethical. It was a flat out murder. The boys were in the tent. It was Metcalf's team's tent. And Austin Metcalf is an identical twin. He has a twin brother. And they were in their team's tent. And the other boy, Carmelo Anthony, was in the opposing team's tent. And Metcalf told Anthony to leave the tent.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong tent. You're in here causing trouble. Get out. Leave.
Right.
And apparently Anthony told him, make me.
Yeah.
And so he ended up grabbing his knapsack when Metcalf told him to leave again. I'm not sure if Metcalf, grabbed him to leave or what, but Anthony grabbed his knapsack, took his knife out, and stabbed Metcalf in the heart in front of everyone.
When I was a kid, if you got mad at somebody, you got into a fist fight.
Right.
And afterward, it was over.
Right.
And you'd go out and, if you're old enough, you'd have a beer. If you're a little younger, you'd have some ice cream or something. But now, let's escalate quickly and make this deadly.
Correct.
What about the parents? Were they maybe supposed to train their children a little bit better than that? You're not liking somebody.
I think the parents should be held responsible
Yeah.
for this, because I don't understand where that much rage comes from, where you think it's okay to take a life over. And first of all, you're not in your team's tent. You are in the opposing team's tent looking for trouble.
Yeah.
And you bring a bag with a knife in it to a field that weapons are not allowed. It is
Yeah.
a school activity. So he went with intent to harm this boy, and he took his life. It's heinous. It's horrific. Actually, I've been very grieved over this story since it happened. I was following it pretty closely, and I've been praying for the family. I lost a son. My son would have made 34 on April 4th, and I lost him in a tragic accident. And he was 20 years old, going on 21. My son.
Yeah.
And to be a mother, to lose a son, I cannot explain to you. When people say there is no pain greater than the loss of a child,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, there is no pain that I have ever experienced greater than the loss of losing my son.
Yeah.
And so my heart was so grieved for this mother, because it was a senseless loss.
Yeah.
To take her son's life over, get out the tent, it makes no sense to me. This is why we're fighting like a spiritual battle here. It's evil versus good.
Back some years ago, there was a big movement. I am somebody. No, you need to recognize you are nobody. Me, I recognize that there's 8 billion people on the planet. I'm just not that important. But a lot of people have got this attitude. I am the most important human being around here anyway. So don't you bother me, because I'll kill you. That's not the way I was brought up.
No, it's bringing out a lot of the I don't even know how to word it without being called a bigot or a racist, but it's bringing out a lot of racial issues, because the young man was a black man who stabbed a young white guy. And to me, it's not the race, it's the heart.
It's
a heart issue It's the way he was raised.
Yeah, exactly.
And the anger that he felt. He had no one to communicate with. And I don't even know the boy's story, but it never should escalate to that. Ever, never. So anyway, we will continue to lift that family up, the Metcalf family up. And we will even pray for Caramello Anthony's family and for him, because that young man needs Jesus. He needs the Lord. And maybe he'll find him in prison.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
What state was that in?
Texas. I believe it was Texas.
And how old was the murderer?
And I think he's going to face the death penalty too.
Yeah.
We'll suspect. Yeah, here you go. How
old was the murderer?
I think they were both 17-year-olds.
Yeah,
He's being tried as an adult.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah.
So
a few weeks ago, when we were talking about the proposed constitutional amendment, there was a blanket statement in there that you would prosecute people as adults. Well, there are times when it is appropriate. This is definitely appropriate to prosecute against an adult.
Right, and so Anthony is in jail for $1 million bond, pending a hearing. And and that third amendment that we all voted on no. By the way, I wanted to thank you again. I was thinking about you today, the work that you did, researching the amendments, and then the 2 hours that we put into the show, communicating about why we said no on all those amendments. Yeah. We won. Congratulations, we won, because everyone voted. Most of the people voted no, and the Democrats and the Republicans actually worked together on this, and it was historical no across the board. And Jeff Calandry got a clear no from everyone concerning those amendments. But one of those amendments was trying a teenager as an adult and then putting him in prison.
They didn't even say teenager, just
juvenile, and then putting him in prison with the adults. In this case, he's 17 years old. He's not 10 or 12. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. This is Liberty or Lockdown. If you're suffering with scalp irritation or inflammation of the scalp, breaking scalp or loss of hair, there's a new treatment out there called therapy. Call Scott Isbell on Magazine Street, 504-595-5009. $3.99 per session. You'll need about 3 sessions. That's 504-595-5009. Scott Isbell.
Later news got you down? Tune in at 4 o'clock on Thursday night. Earn your life. Only Big Broadcast on WGSO 990.
Real Talk with Revolution is back. This is Effie, and I brought along some new friends.
Nikki D here. We'll be talking real estate, real life, and everything in between.
Please join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on WGSO 990 AM and streaming live at WGSO.com.
Chef Jamie Gwen here. Tune in for delicious conversation and let me feed your soul every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Tired of placing multiple calls to multiple bidders and getting the runaround? Turn to one resource who can get it done. Sir Speedy. We provide a wide spectrum of print, signs, and marketing services, all backed by more than 5 decades of experience. So when you need that new brochure, direct marketing campaign, or signage to promote your brand, give us a call at 504-586-9812 or visit us online at SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com. Everything you need, one resource, Sir Speedy.
Hello, this is David Jeremiah. Join me each weekday morning at 4:30 or 5:30 a.m. for Turning Point on the community voice of the Crescent City WGSO.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. It's unclear if the state will continue to pay teachers at the current level. If Constitutional Amendment 2 had passed, it would have allowed the state to pay down high-interest pension debt. Governor Jeff Landry says that would have freed up dollars to make the $2,000 stipends that teachers first received in 2022 permanent.
I sent a letter yesterday to every teacher in the state of Louisiana, clearing the air on that because there was a lot of disinformation and outright lies about what the legislature had worked so hard to accomplish.
Governor Landry also unveiled his insurance reform plan yesterday, and today, Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple announced his support of 20 bills for the upcoming legislative session. And he says a couple of things the governor pointed out were not true, including the claim that Temple has no authority to deny a rate increase.
Similar to 29 other states across the country, I have all the authority I need to deny a rate for being too high, and I exercise it.
Oh, all right.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic. Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Oh, they hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hey, y'all, head out and find some festivals this weekend. April 11th through April 13th, New Iberia Spanish Festival. April 12th, Louisiana Doll Festival in DeRidder. April 12th through April 14th, Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival. Visit festivals.explorelouisiana.com and make your plans to laissez le bon temps relais.
Hello, Christian Patriots. Want to invest in gold and silver at cost? Well, you've come to the right place. At Cost Metals. At costmetals.com, you can purchase gold and silver at much lower prices than the leading metals exchanges. Call 985-469-1188 or email talk@wgso.com or flamingconservative@wgso.com. And right now, at Cost Metals has a new coin, the Trump assassination coin. Do not want to miss this coin at costmetals.com.
4 days, 300 plus bands, 22 stages, 70 plus food vendors. French Quarter Festival, presented by Chevron, is kicking off the 2025 Fest season. From April 10th to the 13th, enjoy nonstop music, incredible food, and unforgettable moments. Get the Fest app or visit FrenchQuarterFest.org for the full schedule, music cues, menus, and more. See you there for 100% local food and music.
Check it. Some of them old balls down in the Louisiana legislature are willing to let teachers teach our kids that all white people are inherently racist, and that Louisiana is a racist state, and that America is a racist country. Them old bars are too chicken to stand up for America. They ought to be put out on the chicken farm.
Hey, do you ever wonder who really listens to talk radio? Or even, who is this new Lisa and why are we going live with her? And what does it mean to be unscripted? Hey guys, my name is Lisa Leonardi and I am the new talk show host of Live with Lisa Unscripted. My show is about living our unique NOLA life with a touch of inappropriateness and a ton of side-splitting laughs to get you home every Monday at 4 p.m. here on WGSO 990 AM.
All right. So did you know that Liberty or Lockdown joined MAGALouisiana.org?
I did not know that.
Do you even know what MAGALouisiana.org is?
No.
It's a new newspaper. And it's going to be distributed to all of our politicians. And this is MAGA Louisiana. This is the MAGA voters who voted for Trump. This is we want to be listen. We want them to listen to what we have to say. Trump signed an executive order, and he is saying that we need to go back to paper ballots.
Yeah, that sounds good. Of course, he can't do that because the U.S. Constitution says each individual state sets its own voting rules.
Right.
But he's trying.
Okay. So Jeff won't listen. Governor Landry and Secretary of State Nancy Landry and Kyle Ardon are getting ready to buy millions of dollars towards more Dominion machines. Did you know that?
I did not know
They're
that.
doubling down.
Our tax dollars at work.
Hmm. We need a Doge in Louisiana, and we need to expose a lot of where our money's going into.
Yeah.
I do believe that they did start a Doge, and I think some of our senators are on there on that committee. So we'll be, investigating that a little further and see what's going on with that. But MAGA Louisiana is an alliance of citizen groups that support the MAGA movement in Louisiana, just as President Trump is reforming national politics. We hope to do something similar in Louisiana.
Yeah.
After all, Louisiana is a very red state, though you wouldn't always know it by looking at some of the things our politicians do.
Well, the largest single area of the state, New Orleans, is definitely not red. Definitely blue.
Yeah, well, we hope to change that. And the first issue we're tackling is honest voting. As President Trump said, you can rely on computers to count. You can't rely on computers to count votes.
Yep.
Computers can be compromised.
Yep.
And so if you're looking to find out more about magalouisiana.org, just type it in to the browser, magalouisiana.org.
And, a lot of people that hate Trump just get triggered when they see the expression MAGA, M-A-G-A. He is not saying, or at least I don't believe, the United States has ever been perfect. But there have been times when we had flashes of greatness. One of them, of course, was the end of slavery in the Civil War. So it was good before then, but it wasn't great. But I think that was one of the great things in American history, where we finally corrected that evil that had been perpetuated in the United States. And there have been other times where it's kind of embarrassing, but there's other times where it's been great. When we went and got involved in World War II, I think the victory over Nazism was great. Now, I don't personally have a stake in that. My dad did fight in the U.S. Army during that time. But what the U.S. Army did, or what the U.S. did, was great. It wasn't perfect. It was great. So I think America has had flashes of greatness, and I'm hoping we're going to have more flashes of greatness.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Nancy Landry, Secretary of State in Louisiana, I want to see, I want her to respond to President Trump's executive order and do, like you said, okay, the states are responsible for their own policies. But did you see Gretchen Whitmer in Trump's Oval Office?
No.
In the corner? She was in the corner.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting because her posture said, I'm scared. I'm very, very scared. You remember, she was the one that faked her kidnapping.
Yeah.
And very leftist through Biden's 4 years.
Yeah.
Right. So
what was she doing there?
Standing in the corner, petrified, wondering if Trump was going to drop the hammer on her. Because he had called her to the Oval Office, probably to discuss, the waterway over there. And you know Trump, how he handles things, right? He puts you in an uncomfortable situation.
Oh, yeah.
And then he makes you do the right thing.
Trump is a businessman first and a politician way down the line. So part of his negotiating tactics is bullying and browbeating.
Yes.
It works.
Well, he praised her.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
He praised her. He gave her praise, which she does not deserve. But he is a gentleman. People don't believe it, but he is a gentleman. People are always thinking he's a bully, but, he gave her praise. But she stood in that corner very scared. I enjoyed every minute of it. So, Nancy Landry, before you get called to the Oval Office and have to stand in the corner very scared, we strongly, strongly ask you to, really reconsider strengthening our elections instead of weakening them.
Yeah.
Strengthening them by making them secure with paper ballot, earmarked paper ballot for the elections, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. And that's where we are with that.
Okay.
What you got, Dave?
Oh, a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to see what you wanted to bring up. And I do want to caution our viewing or listening audience about one email service company if we have time.
Okay. And also, somebody's saying to followthemoney.org. Look up who's adding their campaign coffers. What trial lawyers are paying or donating money to our beloved governor. Trial lawyers are, we have to look that up. A lot of things are going on right now with the insurance world.
Yeah.
And so I want, we really need to do our own due diligence. We need to do our own research. All right, go ahead, Dave. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to caution our listeners, when you have email, as I've been doing it ever since I was much younger than that, you put your email ID and a password on all these websites. I had a service. I'm not going to say these people are evil. I'm just going to tell you what they did. It's called mail.com. And they buy a whole bunch of subdomains. So I was using construction.com, which was owned by mail.com for 25 years. And last week, my email quit working. So I tried to find out what went wrong. And after about 4 days, I was able to find out that company, mail.com, just discontinued my email service. And if I was the only one it ever happened to, I'd say, okay, it's just a fluke. But I Googled to see about reviews for mail.com. This has happened a number of times where they would just cut somebody's email service off. And when that happens, you're in trouble, because a lot of times if you want to change to a new email, you have to log on with your old email, and then they'll send you a message. Well, the problem is you can't get a message. So anyway, I've been for 5 days now trying to straighten this out.
Terrible.
Oh, and I still haven't gotten back into my Coinbase account because they just cut it off. No notice.
Well, use someone else.
Well, yeah.
Get a new email, start over, which is a pain in the
so
butt.
I would think that if you go with one of the biggies,
Is Mark still on the line?
If you go with one of the biggies, I won't even name them, but you could figure out who they are. Those are probably not going to go belly up, but this one did. Or if you're a real tech person, you can buy your own domain. So I have now bought MrPrentice.com. So from now on, I control my own email. But just don't trust some of the smaller email companies. They can, at any time, they can go belly up. They can cut you off. So read the reviews. So anyway, guys, I don't recommend mail.com to anybody.
All right. Do we have a caller? Oh, okay. Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon, Sister Martha. Good afternoon, Brother Dave.
Hi.
Followthemoney.org. I don't know if I told you about this, Dave. I've discussed this with Martha several times. Jeff Landry is padded, his campaign coffers are padded heavily by trial lawyers and insurance companies. So him and Tim Temple had a little back and forth script today, and yesterday. I think I sent you that article, right, Martha? Some of these videos.
I'll have to go back and look.
What do you text? And
all right.
But like we were discussing, they used to tear and they're both the terrors. They're not doing anything about the problem. All they want to do is discuss the problem. They don't want to do anything about it.
How about that election with Tim Temple and Timmy Kearns?
I thought Tim Temple was unopposed.
Tim Kearns ran against him. He beat him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Tim Kearns is in the runoff of city council. So I think that's good. Tim Kearns is a great guy. I really like him a lot. All right, we appreciate your call. Thank you, Swisher. We'll be right back. This is Liberty or Lockdown.
because my voter in your body gets smacked up. Get up, stand up, throw your MAGA hats up. If you got the feeling, Kamala's unappealing. Trump's got the hot flow, Dems are talking junk. Though I got shot in my ears, certify me as the GOAT, yo. Working, tattoo, peeps in the cars, let me serve more fries than lies from the voters are. DJ Keish, enough in the lead, and if it's switch 'em on.
If you're suffering with scalp irritation or inflammation of the scalp, maybe flaky scalp or loss of hair, there's a new treatment out there called therapy. Call Spot Isabel on Magazine Street, 504-595-5009. $3.99 per session. You'll need about 3 sessions. That's 504-595-5009. Spot Isabel. Hello, Christian Patriots. Want to invest in gold and silver at cost? Well, you've come to the right place. At Cost Metals. At costmetals.com. You can purchase gold and silver at much lower prices than the leading metals exchanges. Call 905-469-1180 or email huck@wgso.com or flamingconservative@wgso.com. And right now, at Cost Metals has a new corner, Trump assassination corner. If you do not want to miss this corner, at costmetals.com.
Some people in the Louisiana legislature with the teaching of critical race theory in our state. That theory says that if 2 babies are born today, one black baby and one white baby, that the white baby is the mean, racist oppressor of the black baby, and that the black baby is the weak, incompetent victim of the white baby. Unbelievable. Those people say that the innocent white baby by his DNA is bad and racist, and the black baby by his DNA is a weak victim who can never succeed. Only a total fool would believe or accept this idiocy. Yet they want to teach this foolishness to Louisiana's young people. Please call your legislator today and raise some sand. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Some of them old balls down in the Louisiana legislature are willing to let teachers teach our kids that all white people are inherently racist, and that Louisiana is a racist state, and that America is a racist country. Them old bars are too chicken to stand up for America. They ought to be put out on the chicken farm.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Pruitt. I've been with WGSO for 17 years as host and now president and general manager. WGSO is a community-based radio station, a nonprofit, locally operated. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasizing local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, then we have some prime spots available for you. Take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
All right, in this last segment, we're going to go to a place that I feel like I wanted to show you all or talk about this 4 years ago. But the Lord told me you weren't ready for it. So 3 years go by, the Lord told me still not ready for it. Then 2, now 1. It's been 4 years. So this past week, I felt like the Lord was saying, okay, you can tell them now. Like, oh my gosh, okay. So I'm going to play a video for y'all because I did not know how to present this to you. And voila. The Lord sent it to me. So here is a video, and we're not going to play all of it, but I will replay this again next week, a little bit of it, so that you can get it. And then Dave will download all of this onto our website. And if you just want this video, we'll have the link to it, and you can watch the whole thing in itself. It's only, I don't know. We're going to just play it right now, okay? All right, let's go ahead. This is about America being a corporation. So hang on. Let's play it.
Officially created in 1982. That city-state is called the District of Columbia and is located on 10 square miles of land in the heart of Washington. The District of Columbia flies its own flag and has its own independent constitution. Although geographically separate, the city-states of London, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia are one interlocking empire called Empire of the City. The flag of Washington's District of Columbia has 3 red stars, one for each city-state in the 3-city empire. This corporate empire of 3 city-states controls the world economically through London's inner city, militarily through the District of Columbia, and spiritually through the Vatican. The Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under a tyrannical Roman law known as Lex Fori, which bears no resemblance to the U.S. Constitution. When Congress passed the Act of 1871, it created a separate corporate government for the District of Columbia. This treasonous act allowed the District of Columbia to operate as a corporation outside the original Constitution of the United States and outside of the best interests of American citizens. Sobering study of the signed treaties and charters between Britain and the United States exposes a shocking truth. The United States has always been, and still is, a British Crown colony. King James I was famous not for just changing the Bible into the King James Version, but for signing the First Charter of Virginia in 1606. That charter granted America's British forefathers a license to settle and colonize America. The charter also guaranteed that future kings and queens of England would have sovereign authority over all the citizens and colonized land in America, stolen from the Indians. After America declared its independence from Great Britain, the Treaty of 1783 was signed. That treaty specifically identifies the King of England as the Prince of the United States and contradicts the belief that America won the War of Independence. Although King George III of England gave up most of his claims over his American colonies, he kept his right to continue receiving payment for his business venture of colonizing America. If America had really won the War of Independence, they would never have agreed to pay debts and reparations to the King of England. When Congress passed the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, the U.S. President was made subservient to the King of England. The 13th Amendment is called the Title of Nobility Amendment and forbids U.S. presidents and their officials from using royal titles like king or prince or baron. For some mysterious reason, the 13th Amendment, which was ratified in 1810, no longer appears on current copies of the Constitution. America's blood-soaked War of Independence against the British bankrupted America and turned its citizens into permanent debt slaves of the king. In the War of 1812, the British torched and burned to the ground the White House and all U.S. government buildings and destroyed ratification records of the U.S. Constitution. 1 century later, a corrupt U.S. Congress committed the biggest theft in world history. They passed Paul Warburg's Federal Reserve Act in 1913, handing over America's gold and silver reserves and total control of America's economy to the Rothschild banksters. Most Americans still believe that the Fed, or Federal Reserve, is the government. It is not. The Fed is a privately owned banking system whose majority Class A shareholders are the Rothschilds, Warburg, Kuhn and Loeb, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, Israel Seif, and the Lehman Brothers. This private banking cartel is the Fed and is never audited and never pays taxes. They print and design America's money, which displays their symbols of an Egyptian pyramid, a Masonic all-seeing eye, and the words, "In God We Trust." Who exactly is the God they trust? They also collect American taxpayers' money through the IRS. Then they loan it back again with interest to pay for roads, bridges, and other public. Most U.S. citizens believe that the United States is a country and that the president is the most powerful man on earth. The United States is not a country. It is a corporation, and the president is president of the corporation of the United States.
All right, so we're going to stop there because it's a lot to take in. I've had this information more than 4 years, but I couldn't give it to you before, and so I just am actually obeying the Lord. He's told me to release it, so I'm releasing it. And you guys do your homework, and Dave will put that up there, and we can pray about this, because that's really what we're going to need to remove the veil off of our eyes and the hardness off of our hearts. We're going to have to understand how America became a corporation and what does that mean. In the meantime, I'm going to move on. We're going to take our caller. This is John Odell with MAGALouisiana.org. John, we have just a couple of minutes. How are you doing?
Hey, Martha, I'm doing great.
Appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too. Thanks for. I'm sorry we were so busy handing out these MAGA Louisiana newspapers,
yes,
advising Secretary of State Nancy Landrieu to embrace the recent changes that President Trump has added in his executive order with regard to having paper ballots,
that's right,
citizenship, one-day voting, so on and so forth. But Martha, things are tightening up quickly.
Yes.
And there are also within that executive order restrictions on the use of electronic voting machines, which are not properly certified by the Election Assistance Commission. And to my knowledge, it'd be a surprise to me if any of them in 50 states have been certified. But
real quick, my co-host here was saying that Louisiana, each state determines whether or not they need to. How did you put it, Dave?
Well, the voting process for each state is up to the state, not the federal government.
That's correct. And in our state, we have a top-down system that the Secretary of State is in control of, okay? And not necessarily the people. And right now, we seem to be getting railroaded into an electronic voting system solution for the state of Louisiana again. And so we're just expressing our opinion as citizens and getting these flyers out.
All right, so if you're interested to know more about this, it's magalouisiana.org, and that means Make America Great Again. So who doesn't want to do that? We want to make Louisiana great too. So go to magalouisiana.org, and we can get that newspaper over to you. Thank you, John, Odell, and the Lord bless you for all the hard work that you do to make Louisiana great. We appreciate you. This is Liberty or Lockdown. We're here every Thursday at 5 p.m. We'll see you next week. The Lord bless you.
From the lakes of Minnesota